Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to cover the importance of physical discipline and how it can benefit you in your life. If you find that you're struggling to get over challenges mentally, or if you find that it's very hard for you to get over some of your physical urges, some of the urges that your body projects onto you, and now you have to obey your body, this video is going to discuss why that's wrong and how you can get over that so that your body can obey your mind in future. So what does it mean exactly? So there's a quote: "We treat the body rigorously so that it may not be disobedient to the mind." It's a quote by Seneca. So the quote means that training and overcoming difficult and challenging physical tasks will help you in your mental focus and resilience in overcoming mental challenges of similar kind. So basically, when you force yourself to do hard, strenuous, difficult physical challenges, it makes doing challenges of the mental kind, it makes it so that when you face mental challenges, you can actually do those kinds of challenges easier. You can accomplish those kind of different tasks with much more confidence, with much more force, with much more rigor, because you've already overcome the physical. So now doing the mental is easy now. This quote can also mean that we should push ourselves to do hard, accomplishing tasks with our bodies so that we may be focused and less distracted by urges or other tendencies that we may otherwise feel our body subject us to. So basically, when we're literally making our body obey our mind so that in the future, we do not have physical urges that distract us, that make us do things that we don't want to do mentally, but we have to do because our physical body demands it. So no, your body must obey your mind, basically. It shouldn't be the other way around. You shouldn't be obeying what your body, all these random physical urges that a lot of us have these days. All right, so let's go over some things that we know to play an impact on mental state, just so that we can kind of get an understanding. So posture. We already know that posture impacts your mental state. Having a good posture, sitting up straight, we already know that having a good posture will play a huge impact on your confidence, on your mood, breathing. So the way you breathe, it changes the way you're thinking, it changes the way you're feeling. If you're breathing really shallow, you're really caved in like this, you're going to be anxious, you're going to be worried. Whereas if you're sitting back, if you're breathing slow and deep breaths, you're going to be confident, you're going to be relaxed, you're going to be calm under pressure. Exercise. So exercise, we know it plays a huge impact on reducing anxiety, boosting our hormones. I made a whole video on exercise and how it benefits you, or rather the gym and how it benefits you, but it applies to exercise as well. I'll link that right now. Be sure, it's a few years old, but be sure to check that out. Sleep plays a huge impact on our mood. If you don't have enough sleep, you're more likely to be agitated, you're more likely to make bad decisions, you're more likely to be impulsive. Whereas if you have good sleep, you're going to be calm, you're going to be in a good mood, and you'll be relaxed. Your environment. So are you surrounded by clutter, or are you surrounded by a nice, clean environment where you can be proud of, the place that you've built and the work environment and the environment that you can do your work in? If it's messy, if there's lots of clutter, you're going to be less motivated, you're going to be less likely to do work, both consciously and subconsciously. It's just not going to be the mood that you're going to be in. So pain. So we all know, like, if you have chronic pain, if you have any kind of lingering pain, especially, in the back and the shoulders, these kind of pain, they always linger, they don't really go away. So if you have chronic pain, that's going to really affect your mood, that's going to affect your mentality, the way you think. So now that we understand a few physical things that can impact our mental state, we know that this isn't some woo-woo, like, random stuff. Like, this is actually something that matters. Okay, let's get into the next point. So problems. People in today's day and age are mentally very weak. They get depressed very easily and find it very difficult to stay focused and accomplish even simple goals. People in today's day and age are too impulsive and give in to bodily urges very easily, while also being unable to stay focused for long. People today also cannot discipline themselves to do any sort of task that requires physical discipline or challenge, even if doing that task is instrumental in accomplishing their long-term goals. All right, so let's go over these. So people are very mentally weak. So this is very true. I know a lot of people, they just get anxiety and depressed for no reason. They're just in their room, they just start feeling in some type of way, and then that's it. They're defeated for the rest of the day. They can't do anything. They're done. People in today's day and age are too impulsive. They get into bodily urges very easily. So, this is like, there's grown-ass men I know, like people my age, who will need to literally play with them. They need to touch themselves every single day. Like, bro, come on. There's different things. Some people, they need to smoke. Some people, they always need to drink. They're alcoholics. Some people, they need to vape. Vape is a common one in our generation. A lot of people are really addicted to vaping and they can't stop. And it's playing a huge impact on their health. They always need to be warm. They always need to be comfortable. They can't get outside their comfort zone. So it's like they can't make their body do anything else. Like their body, they have to listen to what their body is saying, and their body is always making them give into these kind of urges. And then lastly, so people, let's say your long-term goal is to lose weight. You need to lose weight so that you can be healthy, so that you can live a long-lasting life. People cannot do that because it requires a small amount of physical discipline. It requires a little bit of a challenge, like maybe you have to like walk for 30 minutes a day or something like that. And they just can't do it because they're not physically disciplined enough to make themselves do that. It's just too uncomfortable, which is very sad. So let's go over the mind-body connection. The mind and body are deeply connected. Physical training can enhance mental strength, focus, and discipline. Rigorous physical training not only builds strength, but also enhances mental fortitude, making the mind less prone to distractions and weaknesses. Overcoming physical challenges makes us stronger physically and mentally. So I think we all kind of, we understand that the mind and body are connected, but most of us probably don't understand how deep that connection is. That connection is very, very deep. Our mind processes our body as being us. It's like we're together as one. So we need to make sure that both are strong together. So when we do rigorous physical training, we make the mind strong as well as the body. So when we move both of these up together, we become way more disciplined, way more stronger, but we also become less prone to distraction and less prone to weaknesses. So it's very important to understand that the mind and body connection are a lot stronger than we realize. All right, now let's go a little bit over the discipline part, the discipline aspect. If you subject yourself to very difficult and strenuous tasks, you will be able to withstand the same when it comes to mental challenges of the similar nature. So again, the physical discipline will scale into the mental discipline. Incorporate physical challenges into your daily routine, such as cold showering, strenuous physical exercise, or waking up early. So try thinking of how your daily routine can be adjusted so you can incorporate more and more challenges physically, so you can build up that discipline, build up that resistance, so that you can overcome more and more physical challenges. Think of like adding a cold shower or doing something really hard for like maybe a 30-minute workout. Wake up really early, waking up at 4 a.m. That kind of thing is very, if you can train your body to do that, you become very disciplined. Physical challenges tend to contain mental as well as physical resistance in them. Overcoming these challenges can lead to breakthroughs in mental toughness. So a lot of times we have programmed ourselves, or we kind of get used to the fact that, we cannot do this, or this is something that, it's unattainable, we can't do this. It's like a mental block. It's not actually like, there's no law that says we can't do it. There's no rule. There's not like physics that say, okay, we cannot do this. We can't do a muscle up, or we can't bench 2 plates or something like that. But a lot of times we kind of naturally program this into our heads because it's kind of like the truth that we've lived for a while. So what happens is when we overcome a physical challenge, when we overcome like smaller physical challenges that lead up to that goal that we're building towards, it can lead to breakthroughs in that mental toughness, so that we can actually acquire the goal that we're trying to achieve initially, or we can like have a breakthrough that can kind of lead us to that point that we didn't know was possible before. So as a little exercise, I want you guys to think about, especially if you've already been going to the gym, or you've already been incorporating some kind of physical strenuous exercise into your routine. I want you guys to discuss in the comments below. Let everyone know, how doing physical exercise has helped you mentally in terms of mental challenges, or your mental health, or in terms of just your mental strength, your mental toughness. Think of how doing physical exercise has helped you mentally, because it's a lot better if we can have a lot of people saying, instead of just me being like, oh, this is the way it is, trust me, because it is the way it is, and I know that, but hopefully you guys can also add into that conversation. So feel free to contribute in the comments. All right, physical training implementation. So let's talk a little bit about how you can actually implement this. We're going to go over this really quickly. So have a routine. The biggest thing to like incorporating like any kind of discipline into your system is have a routine. So like have something that you're regularly doing. You're always making sure that you have to make those days that you plan to make, and don't miss it. Be very consistent with that. That's the best way to implement discipline into your life. All right, so we got gym, we got like weightlifting. It's gym and weightlifting. I put that first because it's great. Not only is it for like everything else that we talked about in this video, but the gym, it also benefits your strength as well as your looks as well. So the gym is just so many benefits. Again, I linked that video earlier, so feel free to go check it out. It's in the description as well. The gym just has way too many benefits, especially if you're a young man. You just gotta hit the gym. Combat training. So combat training, again, it's huge in terms of not only implementing everything else that we talked about in this video, but it also gives you a huge boost of confidence. You become a lot more confident in who you are and what you stand for. You become less scared, you become less anxious, because you know that you can throw a punch. Not that you should ever look for that kind of situation, but it just helps you a lot more, knowing that you could defend yourself if you had to. Running. So running, it's a great way to push yourself. It's a great exercise to do. You can do it consistently. You can do it every day. Same with swimming. Swimming, same thing. It's a great. I know a lot of swimmers get like really ripped because it's just a huge total body of workout. And I'm sure there's a lot more. Feel free to, if you know anything else, to add that. Maybe hiking, something like that. If you wanted to ask and you're not sure, feel free to add that in the comments below. All right. In conclusion, so there's 4 main things we need to take away from this video. So number 1 is training yourself to overcome difficult physical tasks will help you to overcome difficult tasks mentally. So beating the physical will help you in the future when it comes to beating the mental. So that's number 1. Number 2, it is important to train our body to obey our mind so that we can stay physically disciplined and not give in to bodily urges. So basically, your body must obey your mind, not the other way around. We need to train our bodies so that they listen to our will and not to their animalistic urges. We are men, we are human. We need to make sure that our body listens to us, not the other way around. Number 3, we need to understand that the connection between our mind and our body is more important than we realize. And it's also a lot deeper than we realize. It's very, very deep. So, they're not separate. The way your body is represents your mind. So if your body's weak, if your body's unfit, unhealthy, chances are your mind is like that too. You're not mentally strong. So you need to realize that the connection's deep and you need to push both of those disciplines forward together. Number 4, physical strength and discipline is more important than we realize, and it's not optional. I feel like in this day and age, in the modern day, physical strength, physical discipline are just way too underrated. Like, no one cares about it. No one thinks it's important. People are like, life's too short to exercise, all this kind of garbage. It's way more important than we realize. It's not optional. We need to be physically disciplined. These are the same people who they'll tell you it's not important, then they'll just randomly get anxious and like stay in the room the whole day because they can't do anything. I think COVID really played a huge role in terms of locking us into our room, in terms of putting us into that kind of, in terms of framing our mindset into that kind of situation. But we really need to break free so that we can better impact our will onto the world. We need to be able to live the way that we actually want to live. We need to be able to live with mental clarity. Anyways, guys, that's going to take us towards the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're not already. Be sure to check out my music. There's new music coming soon. Hopefully I can leak some at the end of this video. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.